The Gettysburg Address was delivered at the dedication of the Soldiers' National Cemetery in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania on the afternoon of Thursday, November 19, 1863, during the American Civil War, 4.5 months after the Union armies defeated the Confederates at the decisive Battle of Gettysburg, where in 3 days, 50,000 Americans were killed. Abraham Lincoln's carefully crafted address, secondary to other presentations that day, came to be regarded as one of the greatest speeches in American history. Lincoln invoked the principles of human equality espoused by the Declaration of Independence and redefined the Civil War as a struggle not merely for the Union, but as a new birth of freedom. The dedication of this new cemetery featured the speaker Edward Everett, who had served as Secretary of State, U.S. Senator, U.S. Representative, Governor of Massachusetts, and President of Harvard University. At that time, Everett was widely considered to be the nation's greatest orator. Almost as an afterthought, the event committee invited President Lincoln to participate in the ceremony. Lincoln arrived by train in Gettysburg the day before. Approximately 15,000 people are estimated to have attended the ceremony, including the sitting governors of 6 of the 24 Union states. Everett's speech was the day's principal Gettysburg Address and was 13,607 words long and took 2 hours to read. Lincoln spoke for 2 minutes. His few appropriate remarks summarized the war in 10 sentences and 272 words. Lincoln's presentation met with delayed, scattered, barely polite applause. The address was so short, most people didn't realize Lincoln had stopped speaking. Lore has it that Edward Everett later told Lincoln that Lincoln's speech did more in 2 minutes than his own did in 2 hours. The Gettysburg Address. "47 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this, but in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not